My name's Matt Odens. I'm with Odens LO Architecture. We've been working in collaboration with Doran Whittier on this project, and I'm going to give you an update tonight on our latest exercise. We've completed just recently a 6-month study following a successful grant application last year to the state for state funding. The library was awarded roughly $9 million. That, as you may know, that previous submission was based on a new building. We were asked to take a look at a possible renovation expansion scheme to be able to compare the two, develop that scheme to the same level of completeness, price it, and be able to compare them apples to apples in terms of cost. So I'm going to run through that renovation addition option. This was selected as the preferred plan by the committee and the trustees. One thing to point out as it relates to schedule, this is a very long process. We're at the end of our 6-month concept phase. We're now in a holding pattern for fundraising, both by the fundraising committee, but also funding from the state. And it's unclear what that time frame will be. It could be as long as 3 years. It could be shorter than that. It has everything to do with the libraries that are ahead of us in the wait list for funding. But we, as part of what was approved by the state in this latest bond, we're pretty certain that we're guaranteed that money at a certain point. So assuming kind of worst case scenario, fiscal year 2022, 6 months to accept the grant, a year of design for the library, bidding for about 3 months, and then roughly 2 years of construction, we're looking at about a 7-year process here, conservatively. So that puts us in a new building in spring of 2026. It's possible that we might be able to accelerate that a little bit, but we're still looking at a 2025. So this is a long process. There will be lots of opportunities to engage the community, come back to you, meet with other stakeholders in town. So to walk you through the plan, this is an aerial view of the existing library. For those of you that don't know, the library started in the Saunders House. It was expanded in 1913 to provide a stack wing. They needed more room for books. And then in the 70s, the larger addition by local architect Charles Monell was built. And that is the building that we are focusing on preserving along with the Saunders House. The expanded building more than doubles the size of the library and provides the same program of requirements that the previous scheme did, based on the program that was developed by the library and submitted to the state for funding. It preserves the existing Monell building, adds primarily to the back, which is the west side of the building, a little bit along the south side, tries to maintain the look of the existing building to the greatest extent possible, preserve the front landscape, the amphitheater at the corner of Dale Avenue and the pedestrian street, the landscaped gardens. There will need to be some reworking to develop an ADA accessible path from Dale Avenue into the library, and at the same time we're trying to solve an ADA accessible route for Saunders House, which currently does not have an ADA entrance. This is a plan of the existing library. This is again where we are looking to expand. The existing Monell building will be gutted on the inside and fully renovated, as well as exterior improvements to improve the thermal performance. I mentioned an ADA accessible route from Dale Avenue, improved wayfinding on the interior, and a better connection between the library and the Saunders House, which we can talk about more when we see some of the exterior views. This is an interesting site because it's a sloped site. It's a 3-story building. That means there are 2 entrances, one from parking and one from Dale Avenue on 2 different levels. That's a unique aspect of this building, and so trying to solve that wayfinding problem of people entering on 2 different levels and needing to find their way to the sort of heart of the library or the main circulation desk is something that we feel like the current building does not do particularly well, and we thought that could be improved. So on the lower level, coming in from parking through a covered porch into a lower lobby, and again, this is the limit of the existing building. So the back wall of the Manel building is now an interior wall between the existing building and the new addition. Into a lower lobby with a main open stair up to the upper level, elevator at the back of that lobby. The lower level is primarily community space. There's a large, flexible community meeting room with roughly 100 seats, facilities that support that, restrooms, a kitchen, gallery space. There are several different sized flexible study rooms, creation space. There is a staff position here which can monitor the comings and goings at that level, the info research area, and then backed by the local history collection. The main staff offices are also located on this level. Moving up then to the middle level, which is accessible from Dale Avenue by way of this entrance, which is reworked. You come up this main open stair. Whether you come from Dale Avenue or that stair, you arrive at the main circulation desk on this level. This level also houses the majority of the adult program, nonfiction and fiction collections, seating organized around the perimeter with access to natural light, we feel an improved connector between Saunders House and the library with some covered outdoor seating and a shared landscape between them. A sloping walkway, not a handicap ramp, so no railings, so a gracious, easy path to get up in an accessible way to the front entrance of the library and a rear entrance into the Saunders House. As I said, we're preserving the front gardens here. This area of gardens will be improved, and we're looking to embellish the gardens along the north side of the building to incorporate some terraced landscape and a more gracious pathway communicating from this garden down to the lower level and the lower entrance. The upper level houses the children and teen program. Again, stair and elevator coming up through this central open space, which is top lit. Children's are in the existing building and teens are in the addition. Every level has a variety of flexible meeting rooms of various sizes, supporting different kinds of events. The children have a dedicated program room. Teens have a gaming room and a creation room, and then there's a shared program space between them that's accessible from both suites. Some three-dimensional plans then. This is the existing building, and I'm going to show these so that you have a frame of reference for the addition. So this is the third floor of the existing building, so we're going to work our way down. Current third floor, current second floor with entrance from Dale Avenue. This is the stack wing that I mentioned previously that allows connection at this level. Currently, there is not a connection at the second floor or the third floor or at the basement. And then this is the lower level of the existing building. This is now the expanded lower level. So you can see we're pushing out towards the parking lot with an entrance alongside this meeting room, coming in from parking to a lower lobby, up a generous stair in a centrally lit atrium with an elevator at the back of the lobby, community meeting spaces, info research area, local history, and staff offices. This is the second floor then with the ADA accessible entry from Dale Avenue, a glass connector between the library and Saunders House, the main open stair coming up to a central service point for staff to greet patrons. Adult stacks, generally we try to keep stacks low, so we're improving sight lines throughout the library. Security is obviously a big concern, but also we're trying to make this feel open and bright and a place that you want to be. And then the third floor, children's program is located within the footprint of the Manel building, and the teens are in the addition. This is that central stair opening that goes all the way down to the lower lobby and shared program space between the two sides. And then a view of the roof. So we think that we can get some benefit out of the south-facing side of the existing roof to sponsor solar panels. We also are taking advantage of what we think would make sense as a flat roof, both to support solar panels to the greatest extent possible on that addition, but also to be somewhat deferential in terms of form and scale to the existing building. This is a clear story light monitor that's bringing light down into that central stair. A couple of sections now. These are sort of dollhouse views cut through the building. We're looking obviously up towards City Hall from the parking lot. So we're cutting through the addition. This is the lower lobby, main stair, and atrium up to the second floor and then up to the third floor. Elevator is here. So this is that staff area that I mentioned, study rooms, conference room and adult program on this floor, program room, and you're seeing the children's room beyond. I'll note that that's the existing rear elevation of the current library that is now an interior condition. These openings will be preserved, and they will either be open between communicating spaces or have glass in them depending on acoustical requirements. This is now a section cutting the long way from Dale Avenue down to the parking lot. So you can see we actually have to come up a little bit from Dale Avenue to the second floor. This is where the adult program is. There's a main reading room in the front of the building. Children are on the top floor underneath the top clear story. This is the atrium between the existing building and the new addition. You're seeing the meeting room, adult program, and teen room. Now a couple of views of the interior. You're standing in the addition looking back towards the original building. Again, you're seeing the back wall of the Manel building with the openings preserved and either glass or open depending on the acoustic needs. So this is the adult nonfiction stair down to the lower level, up to the third floor, program space in between the two. A view of the lower lobby looking up through that main stair, and a view of the interior of the new adult reading room. So you're at the front of the building looking towards City Hall. This is Dale Avenue. We wanted to open up this corner, make sure that there was a stronger visual connection both from inside the library to your community and also vice versa, looking into the building as you're coming down Dale Avenue, and have that really be an important corner. It's an important civic building, and we thought this was the place to invest some energy. In terms of exterior development, I mentioned we're trying to preserve to the greatest extent possible the look of the Manel building. We do think that there's room for improvement in the link. That addition, the Stack addition, was never intended to be a link. It was intended to house books, and so it's not particularly welcoming or open. So we thought that a lighter glass connection without a mechanical penthouse on top of it would reduce the scale of it and really have this feel more like two buildings rather than three. The historic Saunders House, the expanded renovated Manel building, and a very simple glass connector between them. At the same time, we're trying to open up the new entrance to the library to make it, again, more transparent, more welcoming, and ADA accessible. So as you can see, there's a sloping walkway, no railings. It's a more gracious slope up, renovating the existing fountain and trying to create a nice shared garden landscape that is an amenity both to Saunders and the library. Another view, and these are pretty conceptual too, I just want to reiterate. But a view from the corner looking down the pedestrian way, you can see the addition here and the Manel building. And then a view which you really will never get, but just for illustration, this is sort of looking from Central Grammar towards the building. So you can see a very clear delineation between the existing Manel building and the new building. The intent is to differentiate them, not try to just replicate what's there now. Keep the addition very simple. The base is painted white brick to match the painted brick of the library. The upper two floors are currently imagined as a much more transparent kind of jewel box sitting on that more solid base with a lot of transparency and perhaps some other material that provides the vertical rhythm that you get from the arches in the existing building, but in a reimagined way.